The ruins were ancient beyond comprehension. They stretched across the barren world of GIS Prime, silent testaments to a forgotten time. Vast monolithic structures, worn smooth by eons of wind and sand, loomed over the expedition team from the Galactic Alliance. Their inscriptions glimmered faintly, etched into the stone by technology far more advanced than anything in current galactic records. Drixa Raval, an archaeologist from the Coron species, crouched next to a crumbled pillar, running her tendrils over the strange symbols carved into its surface. "This script is oddly familiar," she murmured, her voice barely audible over the desert wind. "It feels like something I've seen before, but—" "Impossible," interrupted Vor, a hardened military advisor observing the scene. His 4 eyes scanned the ruins warily. "These structures predate every known galactic civilization by at least 5 million years. There's no way anything about this could be familiar." Drixa didn't respond. She instead activated her holoscanner, overlaying the ancient script with the database of known languages. To her growing shock, the patterns were unmistakable. They bore striking similarities to Terran languages, Earth languages. The discovery sent a chill through her. Meanwhile, her assistant, a younger Coron, stared at the glowing hologram projected above the ruins. "Dr. Raval, could it be a coincidence? Maybe some kind of parallel evolution?" "No," Drixa replied with certainty, her voice trembling. "This isn't coincidence. These markings, they're human." The words hung in the air like a death knell. The Galactic Alliance was no stranger to humanity. When first contact had been made 300 years ago, the Alliance's many species had welcomed humans into the fold, though not without condescension. The humans were ambitious and fiery, yet backward in comparison to the interstellar powers. Their technology barely surpassed warp capability, their colonies were sparse, and their history was riddled with wars and self-destruction. The Alliance had regarded humanity as a younger sibling, brash, impulsive, and ultimately insignificant in the grand scheme of the galaxy. Yet humanity's unyielding drive and tenacity made them a valuable ally. They were bold explorers and stubborn survivalists, willing to traverse dangerous frontiers where others hesitated. But this discovery on GIS Prime was rewriting everything the Alliance thought it knew. Back aboard the research vessel Luminera, orbiting the planet, Drixa stood in front of a council of scientists and diplomats. Holograms of the ruins rotated behind her, with annotations highlighting the human-like patterns in the carvings. "The ruins predate the rise of the Coron species by at least 5 million years, she began. "And yet, the script matches Earth's languages, specifically, ancient human dialects from their pre-industrial eras. Furthermore, the architectural design aligns with no known alien styles, but bears uncanny similarities to human art and mythology." The room was silent, save for the faint hum of the ship's engines. Vor, seated at the back, broke the tension. "Let me guess. Your conclusion is that humans somehow had a thriving interstellar civilization millions of years ago, fell into obscurity, and then conveniently forgot all of it." His voice was thick with skepticism. Drixa's tendrils bristled. "I don't deal in guesses, Advisor Vor. I deal in evidence. And the evidence points to humanity's involvement in a civilization far older than any of ours. We need to treat this seriously, or they copied it," Vor shot back. "Humans are good at mimicking things they don't understand. It's likely they stumbled upon remnants of this ancient species and absorbed it into their culture." "That theory doesn't hold," Drixa countered. "Our analysis shows these ruins contain materials and isotopes native to Earth. Not just Earth-like, Earth-specific. Whatever civilization built this likely originated from humanity's homeworld." At that, murmurs erupted throughout the room. A Krell diplomat leaned forward, their bioluminescent skin pulsing with unease. "If what you're suggesting is true, Doctor, it would mean humanity is far older than we ever imagined. And if they were capable of creating such wonders in the past, they could become a threat again," Vor finished grimly. Meanwhile, on Earth, life carried on as usual. Humanity was blissfully unaware of the storm brewing across the galaxy. A young scientist, Dr. Alara Mendez, was leading a geological survey in Antarctica when her team stumbled upon something buried deep beneath the ice. A vast metallic structure unlike anything humans had ever seen. As her team worked to unearth the object, the ground shook violently, and the structure's surface began to glow with an otherworldly light. Moments later, a beam of energy shot into the sky, disappearing into space. Unbeknownst to Alara, that signal echoed across the stars, reaching the ears of the Galactic Alliance. To some, it was a warning. To others, it was a harbinger of humanity's return to power. The long night of humanity's forgotten past was ending, and the galaxy was beginning to realize its mistake. Humans were not a young species. They were the original elder species, awakening from their slumber. The beam of light from Antarctica traveled across the void of space, bypassing stars and nebulae, carrying an ancient message encoded in frequencies no species had encountered before. On Earth, Dr. Alara Mendez and her team were overwhelmed with confusion and awe as they watched the light disappear into the cosmos. Dr. Mendez called out Jonas, a junior researcher. The signal's intensity, it wasn't just light. It's packed with data, layers upon layers of it. But it's incomprehensible. Alara furrowed her brow, staring at the faintly glowing structure embedded in the ice. She couldn't shake the feeling that they had awakened something ancient, something not meant to be disturbed. Focus on decoding the signal. I don't care if it takes all night. Whatever this is, we need answers. Far away, aboard the Galactic Alliance flagship Eterna Vigilance, chaos erupted as the signal reached them. The High Council, made up of leaders from over a dozen advanced civilizations, convened in emergency session. It's undeniable, Drixa Raval began, standing in the center of the council chamber. The hologram of the signal's trajectory hovered behind her, intersecting with Earth. This transmission originated from Earth, sent through an ancient structure buried on their planet. It matches the technology of the ruins on GIS Prime. A loud murmur spread through the chamber as representatives from various species debated the implications. The Krell ambassador raised a luminous appendage. How could humans, with their primitive understanding of the cosmos, trigger a mechanism millions of years old? It doesn't matter how, growled Kael'vor, now standing at the back of the room. What matters is that they did. And if this is a warning, or worse, a weapon, then we're all at risk. Drixa shook her head. We can't jump to conclusions. We've underestimated humans before, and this could be our chance to learn more about their forgotten history. If they were an elder species, their knowledge could benefit us all. Or destroy us, Vor countered, his voice sharp. History is full of younger species being crushed under the weight of older, more advanced ones. If humanity regains even a fraction of their past power, what's to stop them from conquering us all? The council fell into silence, their fear palpable. On Earth, Alara's team was making slow progress. The layers of encoded data within the signal were too complex for their computers to decipher. But as the hours passed, strange phenomena began to occur around the dig site. Jonas pointed to the sky. Dr. Mendez, look, above them, shimmering auroras danced across the sky in patterns that defied natural laws. The light twisted and turned, forming shapes that resembled ancient symbols. Symbols Alara had seen before in archaeological texts from early human civilizations. Her heart raced. It's a language. The signal is trying to communicate. But before she could process the implications, the ground beneath them shook violently. The metallic structure emitted a low hum, growing louder with each passing second. Suddenly, it pulsed with energy, and Alara knew, deep down, that the galaxy's focus was now on humanity. And humanity, long dismissed as insignificant, was about to take its first step back into the galactic spotlight. The vibrations from the ancient structure subsided as abruptly as they had begun, leaving Alara Mendez and her team in stunned silence. The metallic monolith now pulsed faintly with a rhythm, like the beating of an ancient heart. Alara couldn't tear her eyes away from it. Dr. Mendez, Jonas whispered, his voice trembling, the patterns in the auroras. They match ancient Sumerian and Egyptian hieroglyphs. How is that even possible? Alara's mind reeled. For centuries, Human civilizations had searched for meaning in their past, interpreting mythology, scripture, and lore as fragments of history. Now it seemed those fragments were part of something far greater than anyone had ever imagined. "We've been looking at history through a keyhole," Alara murmured. "This structure, it's evidence that humanity was once part of something vast, something cosmic. But why was it all forgotten?" Before anyone could respond, the air crackled with static, and a voice echoed across the frozen expanse. A deep, resonant tone that seemed to speak in a language older than time itself. The words were incomprehensible, but Alara felt their weight in her chest. Jonas gasped. "It's broadcasting again." The signal this time was not directed outward into space but downward, deep into the earth. The ground trembled slightly as layers of ice and rock began to shift, revealing more of the monolith. It extended downward in intricate, spiraling designs, covered in glowing symbols that seemed to morph and rearrange themselves before their eyes. "This isn't just a structure," Alara realized, her voice tinged with awe. "It's a gateway." Meanwhile, aboard the Galactic Alliance flagship, the Council remained in heated debate. Drixareval stared at the incoming data with growing concern. "The signal has shifted," she announced. "It's no longer targeting us. It's aimed at Earth's core." Kael'vor slammed a clawed hand on the table. "That only confirms my fears. The humans have activated a planetary weapon. We must neutralize them before they awaken whatever lies beneath their surface." "Neutralize them?" Drixa shot back. "We still don't understand what we're dealing with. Humanity's history may hold the key to understanding this phenomenon. Destroying them could wipe out knowledge we've sought for millennia." The Council deliberated, but unease was spreading. The older civilizations, particularly those that had encountered ancient ruins before, recognized a pattern that had always ended in catastrophe. "If humans are truly an elder species," Drixa added, "then perhaps they aren't activating a weapon. Perhaps they're reawakening their own legacy." On Earth, the monolith symbols flared brighter, and Alara heard the voice again. This time it was clearer, resonating not in sound but directly in her mind. "You are the caretakers, the first, the forgotten." Alara staggered back, overwhelmed by the weight of the message. "The first," she repeated aloud. "What does it mean?" "We were the first intelligent species in the galaxy." The voice continued. "Your time has come again. The galaxy must remember." As the monolith's hum intensified, Alara realized that humanity's forgotten legacy was not just a mystery to be solved. It was a destiny waiting to be reclaimed. The monolith's hum deepened, reverberating across the frozen expanse and into the depths of the earth. Alara Mendez braced herself as the icy ground shifted once more, exposing additional layers of the ancient structure. The glowing symbols danced and flickered, forming intricate patterns. Each pulse felt like a heartbeat, resonating with an almost lifelike cadence. "Dr. Mendez!" Jonas shouted, his voice cutting through the noise. "The signal, it's changing. It's forming words." On their equipment screens, the indecipherable data began to align into coherent phrases. Alara leaned closer, her breath catching as she read the translated text. "Humanity, the lost stewards of the galaxy, your time of dormancy is over. Prepare to reclaim what was once yours." Alara's thoughts raced. The implications were staggering. If humanity had once been the galaxy's elder species, how had they fallen into this state of oblivion? What cataclysm had erased their history, leaving only faint echoes in myths and ruins? "Dr. Mendez," Jonas said, his voice tinged with both awe and fear, "this isn't just a discovery. This is a call to action." Aboard the Eterna Vigilance, panic spread among the Galactic Alliance Council as they tracked the seismic activity on Earth. The signal from the monolith had reached a crescendo, and its effects were rippling across the planet's magnetic field. Kael'vor slammed his fist on the table. "This is a disaster waiting to happen. The humans have no idea what they've unleashed, and neither do we. I say we launch a preemptive strike before it's too late." Drixareval stood, her gaze steady and resolute. "No. If humanity was truly an elder species, then they deserve the chance to rediscover their heritage. If we interfere, we could doom ourselves to repeat the mistakes of the past. The council was divided. Some feared humanity's resurgence, while others saw an opportunity for enlightenment. As the debate raged, the monolith's signal grew stronger, and the undeniable truth loomed over them. The galaxy's balance of power was shifting. On Earth, the monolith's voice spoke again, louder and clearer than before. The galaxy is fractured. You were its guardians. You must restore balance. Alara felt the weight of the message press against her chest. She turned to Jonas and the rest of her team. This isn't just about us. This is about the galaxy. Whatever happened to humanity's past, we were meant to play a role, a crucial one. Suddenly, the monolith unleashed a blinding beam of light into the sky. The auroras intensified, stretching far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched in stunned silence as the signal formed a massive, luminous glyph in space. A symbol of humanity's ancient dominion. The message was clear. Humanity was waking up, and the galaxy would have to face the return of its original elder species. Alara stepped closer to the monolith, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions within her. We won't run from this. We'll embrace it. Whatever the future holds, humanity will rise to meet it. As the monolith pulsed one final time, Alara felt a surge of determination. The forgotten legacy of humanity was no longer buried beneath ice and time. It was alive, burning brightly, and ready to reshape the galaxy.